We've got 4 outrageous people right here, right now.
Yes,
That's
but we're outrageous in a different way.
Perfect. Amazing. Welcome to Warhammer 40K Imperium Maledictum Iron Archipelago, episode 11. I am joined by Omar Krieg as Velamris Quineel, Grimdark Podcast as Holly Van der Velt, KainDamael as Rassie Van der Luck, and I am APGamingREAL, your narrator / game master. That one right there is for Dunamis, just to completely fuck.
It took a second, but right as you started to say it, was like, oh, okay, now I get it. I get it now.
Yeah, amazing. I really am thinking of just doing that randomly on shows that I know you want.
We talked about this before, but you have to start talking really kind of slow. Then you have to really speed it up a lot just to kind of mess with them, but not that quick of a transition. You got to have,
Where else can you get actual play RPGs that directly attack individual audience members?
Well, not just audience members, but other cast members.
Other cast members, yeah. Don't worry, I do attack audience members for sure. Absolutely, but
it's the camaraderie that we bring.
Yeah,
that's your high quality
that's
content.
What it is. Not my infinite drive for trolling. All right, so as the first action we're going to take today, everybody gets 3,000 solars.
Oh, yes.
To represent the 30 days of downtime over the next month.
Oh, let me get my notes on the right page here.
Now, step 2 is that if you have your book open to page 229, we are doing events.
I don't yet.
Okay,
For some reason, I wasn't prepared. I didn't have
I'm gonna start again.
Ready.
If you have your book open to page 229, we are doing events and endeavors. Now, normally you get 2 endeavors and 1 event. We're actually going to do a 3rd endeavor, and one of your endeavors can, and if you want to win, indeed must, be the basketball game. So, just to remind you of the situation that we are at, you have just found out about the inquisitorial cover business that seems to be involved in some way with how the Adeptus Mechanicus were booted out of the local area. You have a number of paperwork-based problems coming up. You have a long-term plan to get either the Imperial Navy or the Ecclesiarchy to solve your movement of Crueltus Porcine problem, and also maybe vacate between 500,000 to 1 million citizens to go on a Fraterus militia crusade. It sounds like James is also running a psyop on the 3 members of the Ecclesiarchy, which is kind of on hold right now because we're doing the downtime. Although there are probably endeavors you could do to greatly advance that. And Rassie Van Lucht is still the temporary, the pro tem, I suppose, Imperial Commander, aka Planetary Governor of this little rock. A fact which almost no one knows about besides the Rogue Traders staff. And I suppose the Imperial Guard garrison. I have one note here. Rassie, have you transmitted the message asking for a replacement regiment of Elysian drop troopers?
Yes.
Okay. What was your listed reason for requesting such a regiment of specialists?
To replace a depleted unit.
Okay. I would like to ask you to make a roll then. Do you have the specialization composure?
That doesn't sound familiar.
Okay, it's under discipline. If not, then we're gonna roll for what's the talking skill in this game? Rapport.
Rapport or presence, depending on what type.
Yeah, we're gonna roll rapport with angle. if you have that.
I do have haggle.
Would you like my help?
Good time.
Yes, I would appreciate your help.
And because I have haggle, you gain advantage and also +1 SL on the test.
Well, well, well.
Oh, right, because you're the super helper now.
Yeah.
Okay. Advantage, 1 SL.
So this is
it Militarum he's dealing with? Because in which case he could add his SL from his influence.
It is
as well.
Militarum. However, it is more difficult than normal. It is a -20 on this test. You are making a big ask. A huge ask. Although it sounds like with +2 SL and advantage, it's almost certainly going to succeed.
Oh, not when you roll doubles.
Incredible.
I will spend a fate.
Okay.
You were just talking about fate points a moment ago.
Yeah. I didn't mention it right off the bat, but I have a hard time holding on to them. -20 and 2 SL.
What happens when you roll like it's Blood Bowl, baby?
I do my rolling.
Okay.
Hey, there you go.
63
Okay,
becomes
take it.
36. That's 3 degrees of success then?
It's
it's
36
one after
versus 36 versus 27, but with the
with
+2 SL, we end up
Okay,
with
I understand
a
now.
net +1.
I didn't realize it was already included. Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. You receive a message back several days later from the Telepathica, who let you know that your message has been successfully transmitted to like sector command, and that they will pass it along to the segmentum command, who will pass it along to the correct segmentum, who will pass it down to the sector, subsector, planet Elysian, and then such a regiment will be dispatched. Their estimated arrival time is within the next 5 years.
Yeah. Makes sense. Okay.
5 years from the other side of the galaxy seems to be roughly in line with some of the things I've looked
I
at
don't know
lately.
how far away the drop troopers are. I don't think they're
not
the
that
other
far
side
away.
of the galaxy, but it definitely will take years of voyage for sure.
Right. The and as far as Rassie's concerned with this, like there's definitely a personal element to this, but also like when Rassie was picked up, the rogue trader was expecting to get more than 5 troopers. So this is sort of making good on what he believes is the word of Sejanus.
You mean Aulus Sejanus, the sector lord?
Yeah, but they tried
Feels
to
like one
make
of
it
those people that you
consecutive.
should say his full name and title for, you know?
That's out of character, but yes.
You know, like how people say President Abraham Lincoln. It's very rare for someone to be like, you know, Abe or President Lincoln. They say the full name.
Yeah. Okay. We've just started, and on the first roll, I've spent a favor.
Perfect. All right, so there's plenty of things to do on the table. You got money to spend if you want to make a single roll for equipment in the downtime period. I'll let you choose whether you want to roll your event up front or at the back end.
I'd rather roll up front.
Okay. So it's individual for each person on events. So just make a roll on their chart.
It's just a D100, isn't it?
It is a D100 on the chart.
Ooh, okay.
27
Oh, wow.
for James. You realize you are being followed. This goes on for days, with your pursuers always staying one step ahead of any attempt to confront them. They may be vigilantes who suspect you of some crime, infractionists who seek to blackmail you, or even other agents of your patron watching for disloyalty. The paranoia makes it difficult to rest, and you begin your next mission fatigued.
Is this a roll that I could spend a fate on? Just think,
Yeah.
I haven't rolled yet, but just thinking ahead.
They're all going to be bad, though, just to be clear. Like,
Right, but bad is not equal.
okay. So fatigued minor is you have disadvantage on all tests at the start of the next mission. James.
Yep.
All right. Let's see. Omar, you got a 100. Congratulations. Let's take a look
God, I
here.
hope that's the highest I ever roll.
You receive a very important visitor. You cross paths with a very important person. Perhaps an agri world is being visited by a senior member of the Administratum. An orbital plays host to a wealthy rogue trader, where the workings of a forge world are personally inspected by a Magos Dominus. You may choose to make a very hard social test. If successful, you manage to impress them. You gain +1 influence with that faction to a maximum of +2. If you fail, your influence falls by 1 instead. I am going to tell you what happens to you, sir.
Yeah.
You are the driver of the car. You're out on a lunch run just getting some narahis and other foods from the local area that you have enjoyed with the group. You're basically doing everybody a favor and picking up lunch for everyone while they work on their very difficult endeavors. And when you're inside the shop, a black bag goes over your head. And for the third time in recent memory, you find yourself having a stun stick applied to your spine.
I'm starting to think this is, I feel like he's like, oh, that tickles. Wow. That, here we go again.
You are woken up by someone throwing a bucket of water on your face, and you are seated at a fancy table with several, like, servitors who specialize. Like, there's one who's got tong hands and is flipping over pieces of, like, barbecued meat that are roasting on, like, a nearby cyber spit / barbecue setup. There's no charcoals, right? But there's literally, like, little promethium flames coming out.
I was just thinking it's got to be fueled by gasoline, which I've eaten off of a grill fueled by diesel, but I digress.
And, I mean, probably in the military, I'm thinking.
Oh, yeah, absolutely it was. It was a dumb cook that we had.
There's one whose arm is like a blending and who is like a blending a sort of coleslaw mash into a kind of paste. There are 4 such servitors who are there. All of them are wearing aprons as well. The man seated across from you is wearing like a tanker or a bucket, like, flak helmet, and they have perched weirdly on top of it a extremely broad brim visored pilgrim's hat with 3 buckles on it that are holding in place the symbol of the Inquisition.
Oh, of course.
The man seated across from you has a rosary and is wearing like a tall black coat. He doesn't, he might have a shirt on, but instead all you can see is black leather straps with tons of buckles, and they go like crosswise, but also some are like sideways. So he might just be wearing like 100 belts instead of wearing a shirt. He looks like a Kingdom Hearts Final Fantasy character.
I was going to go with your average skater punk, but okay.
Yeah. He has real silver that he is using for silverware and is cutting at very daintily at like a rib and is cutting off like a fork-sized piece and putting it in his mouth and says, "So, you're awake finally."
Do I recognize him?
You have never seen this person before in your life. And in fact, with the helmet and the hat on, it's very difficult to like get a clear look at their face, but they are exceedingly pale and there is a darkness to their eyes.
Okay. Well, I'm awake and that smells delicious, but I suppose I'm not here to partake.
You are here to partake in this feast. The local area does not celebrate this particular holiday of All Saints' Day, but I thought you and I, righteous warriors that we are, might partake of it. Please, the servitors are at your dispense if you wish to have any of the wonderful dishes that I have had prepared especially for you. Or perhaps you'd enjoy some corpse starch and meal packets.
Well, the corpse starch and meal packets would probably be easier on my system, as that's what I'm accustomed to, but you're offering finer food than that, so it would be rude of me to say no.
I've been following your career for some time, Velamris Quineel.
Oh, you have me at a disadvantage.
I am Inquisitor Profundus.
Is Profundus a title?
No, it's his name.
Okay.
It should be noted that Inquisitors lie about their names, and also most of them take a new name when they become Inquisitors.
Yeah. But I would say a pleasure, but yeah, why not? It's a pleasure to meet you.
I wish I could say likewise, but I've known you for some time. I've been dispatching one of my interrogators to keep an eye on your little organization. You are a man for whom loyalty does not come easily, Velamris Quineel.
I served God Emperor.
Do you now?
Indeed. That's where my loyalty lies.
But not, I think, to your former bosses.
Did they serve the God Emperor? I think not.
He blinks. He's about to put a piece of, let's call it generously, porcine into his mouth and turns to stare at you. And I need you to make a discipline test.
Sure.
As he begins radiating menace towards you as you get flippant with him.
I think he wouldn't try to be too flippant, but it's also, this is probably somebody much higher station than him.
I mean, he's an Inquisitor, so...
Yeah, easily perceived as flippancy. I'm going to spend a fate point for advantage on this. Damn it. Well,
I believe you could spend another fate point to buy a success level, right?
I believe that's only if I'm successful, though.
No. You can change it. Plus, you can change a -0 to a plus, a -1 to a +0.
Sure, I'll take that.
Okay,
so that's
two fate points on this.
2 fate points, and we're not even 20 minutes in.
It's not
amazing.
That you do feel a pressure socially on yourself. And nothing is going to stop your hands from sweating in this moment, but you keep it from your face and your body language, and you seem to pass some kind of test with Inquisitor Profundus, and he says, "Made of sturdier things than the reports would generally guarantee of your behavior. Velamris Quineel.
Well,
there are not many who would meet the gaze of an Inquisitor."
That's funny. I'm almost curious if you've seen some of the notes I've left behind in my quarters, but perhaps you haven't.
Velamris Quineel, whatever of your writings the Inquisition needs to acquire will belong to us. Is there something you wish to confess?
Ooh, does he have anything worthy of confession? No, I think he's just... I think what he says is something to the effect of, I stand in the light of the Emperor, and whatever his judgment is what it will be.
Interesting. Are you aware that the rod of corruption radiates from you like a snake?
When one goes out, it's always possible to pick up some dirt. It's not always easy to remove some stains.
Your invasion of my private facility has drawn me back to this pathetic chain of asteroids. You will explain to me why you have done this.
The Adeptus Mechanicum once had a presence here. We are curious about some members of the AdMech that we've recently encountered, particularly relating to certain Xenos behaviors. Some things weren't adding up. We did a little investigating to figure out if we worked with them, it would be in the interests of humanity and the God Emperor or not. However, when we spoke with your people at the facility, it was pushed upon us that we were best to leave it alone. Although an offer was made that at the moment, I turned it down for the safety of my partners.
I would like you to make the social test at -30 now.
Well, this is going to be difficult. I'm just going to go with, well, I'm going to use charm. I'm going to use my final fate point and hope to God that I don't actually have to use it. Well, yeah, anyway. So I'm going to roll with advantage. Oh, I didn't put the -30 or -20 in there, so that's actually going to be...
It's -30, so it would fail.
Is it 30?
Yes.
Yeah.
Shit. Yeah, well, yeah, that's a failure.
Okay.
I don't think I wouldn't even been able to pass that, period.
Doesn't look like it.
No, not on a 26.
Just going to mark down here that you've managed to lower your patron's influence with the Inquisition by 1.
I'm sure I'll never hear the end of that.
Is it with the patron or is it?
Yes, it
just
says
I thought it was
influence, which
mine.
means it's by patron.
That was my influence.
The
but okay.
whole
yeah.
organization suffers for your...
The
The Inquisitor says...
Character influence too.
All right. Okay, mark down that you personally are being targeted, Velamris. Somehow
Sure.
I think that's worse. The Inquisitor says
but
to
not
you,
for us.
Velamris
see.
Quineel, a small mind is a tidy mind, and an open mind is like a fortress with its gates unbarred. It would be pious of you to stop asking questions and accept your place in the world.
Fair enough.
Fair enough?
Honestly, my brain was half engaged because I was trying to figure something out on the screen. But I will say this.
He swirls something dark and red in a glass that is made from a skull.
Yeah.
It's like a goblet that has like the skull is like transparent, and he swirls it around and sips from it and says, I am your social, legal, and religious superior. You do not respond to a command by saying, fair enough.
With apologies.
My
You've asked me to,
lord.
you've told me to stop, and I've stopped. My lord. An offer was made. I had turned it down for the sake of those that were with me
Stop
at the
talking.
time. He shuts up.
We're done here. He pushes the food away from himself and stands up to leave, and he says, please stay, enjoy the meal. All of this was for you. Now I have business elsewhere in the subsector to attend to. Try not to blow the cover of any inquisitorial watch fortresses.
As you wish, my lord.
He gives the briefest, slightest head tilt before turning and leaving. The tongs clicker guy clicks his tongs twice and offers you like barbecued brat.
Okay. Yeah,
like a little half chicken.
Yeah, I think Velamris would enjoy some of the food, like a modest portion, but he's also going to see if he can bring some back for everybody else, since
I mean, the servitors here don't have the intelligence to stop you if you want to load up a little go bag or something.
Yeah, I'll definitely bring back plates for everybody else. Whoever I'd said I was going out to get some food for. I feel like they'll just bill us.
When you
or
get
something.
back on the streets, it's been 2 days. No one has seen you.
Of course it has.
You went out on a coffee run and never came back. All right.
But I came back with food, damn it.
Yeah, you did. Kain got a 37. Let's take a look here. Contagion. The plague is sleeping through the area. Perhaps Ulrin's pox, or maybe even a limited outbreak of lethal creeping blight. Make a -10 resilience test.
All right. I don't want to be poisoned.
Why not?
I don't even know what it does, but I don't want it.
All the cool kids do it.
Oh, really? Okay.
Hey, first time's free. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, I was about to say something that's going to get AP demonetized, but I'll hold back.
I appreciate that so much. Poisoned is you have disadvantage on strength and toughness tests. The maximum SL you can achieve on any test is equal to your toughness bonus.
All right, so I have a -10. Okay. I will spend for advantage.
You guys haven't even gotten to roll for the positive stuff yet. You are just shooting low in all of your fate up on the front side. You just roll a 1?
I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Okay. Look, miner's lung is a very serious concern around here, and you walk through a plagued area, and suddenly everybody in the local area starts. They begin doing the boomer cough, and you're like, "Oh no, I might be getting sick." And then later that day, you feel better now. Your lungs feel open, clean. It's that
You do a test to get no lines, not just one line.
You think that exposing yourself to a little bit of this disease has paradoxically made your immune system stronger, like some sort of vaccine or something.
So you're done with Kain?
Yes.
All right. Can I set a little bit of scene for my result as well?
Yes, but note that your result does not happen until the end of all of these scenes.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
I think as well, because like it's going to relate to what I'm doing during downtime as well.
Okay.
But I think that over this sort of 30 days, Holly is burning the candle at both ends, putting together her plan, and so she's got like a conspiracy style board, like in RPGs when you get like visions of a faction or multiple factions, and it has like lines how this one feels about this one and vice versa or such. She's done that for all the various people she's trying to manipulate in her current plan, and then like she's also got herself in the middle and tied like red string to indicate anyone that could potentially want to kill her if they find out about what's going on. So she's built up her own paranoia by trying to like cover her tracks and prepare herself for her big conspiracy.
Been hanging out with Velamris too much.
Yeah, so I think that she's just gotten helpful at her planning and has completely gone overboard and has worked us up into a paranoid furor.
That's wild, Chips. I've been there. Sometimes I'm there multiple times a week. Is that what all the exhaustion's from?
Could be, my friend.
I wish that joke was funnier. I wish.
You're a disadvantage on all tests for the next mission, AP.
I just have a -30 to everything at all times. Especially comedy. All right. You have 3 endeavors you can undertake. All of you can choose to undertake as a group endeavor the basketball game if you would like to win the finals.
I'm going to say yes on that one.
There are
Do I
various.
need to be in that? I'm not in the basketball game. Do I need to be in it?
You are part of the
Aren't you
cheer
You're a
section.
cheerleader.
Yeah, aren't you part of our support network?
I would
Okay,
also assume that you're the team Beneke as well.
Yeah, part of the ship, part of the crew. No problem.
Yes. Some other topics that you may want to keep in mind on the table are, of course, Suprenza and the other members of your hit squad. I guess that's not the right name. The remaining Elysian drop troopers, who did you even use them last mission? They reset at the start of this mission, so you can use them again. You can provide them with toys and enrichment and nutrition if you'd like to, in order to help them grow. There's the continuing medical aid for liturgical, and then there are any number of small plots that you guys have out in the world. And there's always the question of what is really going on with the AdMech.
So we have 3 total, one of which we don't
be a
have to,
group
but it's intended
endeavor.
to be the basketball game.
Yes.
What kind of endeavor would it be to try to help liturgical?
I think it'd have to be an individual endeavor. I think I would accept perhaps Medicae in Extremis or Devout Worship.
I was going to do Devout Worship for the extra fate point. I could tie it in to something with liturgical, where you can do something similar, maybe.
Okay. I'll go. I'd like to do a Medicaid extremist and throw money at trying to find more help for liturgical.
Okay. Let's see here. The costs and skill levels of medical professionals can be found on 155. Do you know a skilled Trivirgin or Rejuvenate specialist? Otherwise, you need to consult Savant to locate someone. I think the answer to that is no, because if the Rogue Trader had such a person on the staff, they would already be using that person.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm trained Medicaid, but I don't have the Chirurgeon talent, so.
Would you be willing to try to consult a savant to find one? It's an inquiry test.
Hang on.
Inquiry is based on.
It's intelligence.
No, but it's an inquiry. It's a sub skill of something.
Is it sub-skill of logic?
Maybe logic
Might
or
be logic,
lore, I would
yeah.
imagine. But those are intelligence based. But I don't have if it's a sub skill, I don't have it.
You can still make it with this base, whatever the base one is, but I wouldn't say it's either difficult. I wouldn't say it's either restricted or heretical. So,
Well, I have a 47 intelligence. I'm pretty sure Rassie's is lower.
Yeah.
So I just don't have any fate points to give me additional advantages. So, but I can do, let me see. Spanish downtime, which getting the show. So if I make this roll, we'll have a +2 SL on a single test relevant to the skill.
I think this is more like the narrative benefit that Medicaid Extremis.
I can make the roll if I do the consult savant. Does that count as one of my endeavors?
Yes.
To give him the information?
Yep.
Then here's what I want to do then. For my 2 endeavors that I'll do, because one of them obviously would be for the basketball game. One, I'll see if I can find that savant, but Velamris is going to be clear that, there's no guarantees of success, but he will definitely look around. Can I do, in addition or on top of that, can I use some data delving, like records, administratum, attempt to locate sort of stuff, where I can have an advantage on that as part of my talent?
towards consulting the savant.
Correct.
Yeah.
So, like, if I can make the challenging inquiry, but with advantage because of my talent? Okay. Because I'm out of fate points. That's
You spend a lot of time looking for the records, searching for someone who has a skill rating of 70 and has a Medicaid servo skull that follows them around.
all right.
Like reading microfiche.
Do you want me to roll logic or lore with that AP? They're the same stat.
Well, what's inquiry based on?
Yeah, it's the one for inquiry.
I don't know. Honestly, I'd have to look.
Well, that's what I'm asking.
No, it's rapport. Based on
Rapport is inquiry? Okay.
Oh, wow. Ooh. I don't know if I want to make that roll then.
Well, you have advantage and you've already walked yourself into this.
Yeah, I know.
There's no there's literally no walking out of this. It basically has to be done for the series of events.
Yeah, this is it. In fact, Velamris is like, not only do I offer no promises, there's like not a very good chance of finding one for me.
Let's see how the advantage pans out.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't you believe in the God Emperor?
Hey, yeah, 16.
There you
16,
go.
yeah.
Yeah. So I find a guy and I give him a little
You
note
spend
card with his
weeks
contact
looking
information.
for a doctor who's good enough. And finally, after tons of tiny bribes and favors promised, you find yourself on what is essentially just a floating coffin container that is literally ratchet strapped to a very small asteroid fragment. Inside
Dust.
of this container, you use whatever the Warhammer 40K version of like a fully sealed spacesuit is to transfer from a shuttle into this person's domicile, where you find a man, he's like a dark-skinned man wearing the Warhammer 40K version of like a kente cloth and like a kufi hat, and he very clearly has a number of very warpy trinkets about him. And you notice that he has some like runes carved around his neck. One of them you recognize because you see it in your dreams from time to time. But he does have a floating skull that follows behind him. And when you come in, the skull's eyes light up and are like, ah, a visitor. And you're like, oh, a talking servo skull. That's heresy.
Not to be confused with the mute ones.
The man opens his eyes and turns to look at you, and the servo skull says, so, what can I do for you, friend?
I have a compatriot that is severely injured after, oh God, I don't even know how to begin. Extensively exhausting his capabilities in communication. A psyker.
This man tosses some dust before him into a fire pit, and a fire roars up between the two of you. He stands from a like meditation seating as the servo skull gets invasively close to you. The man has not said anything yet. The skull has said everything, and the skull says, ah, a practitioner of the mental sciences. Yes, I am skilled at treating such patients on multiple levels.
Would you be willing to take a look at my friend and see what could be done to restore him to full functionality?
I assume that during any such transactions, I'll provide you with my fee, and you hear a sound like a dot matrix printer printing out, and an invoice comes out of the servo skull's mouth for 1,200 Macarian solars. I will also require pardons for any activities I must perform on the rogue trader's premises, and promises that we will not be accosted by any Sisters of Silence, Black Ships, Inquisitors, or any Imperial officials who may impede our path.
I think we can handle all that. I feel as our...
You feel a crackling of lightning in the room as he holds his hand out, and a staff that is topped by 3 skulls that look like they're screaming snaps into his hand from across the room. And the servo skull says, excellent. Should we go now? Or would you prefer to stay by the fire and warm your bones for some time? And you see, again, the man has not said anything, but you see him smile with his teeth brightly lit by the flames, and the flames turn purple. and the rune under his neck glows.
Is he wearing a top hat?
No, he's wearing a Kofi hat.
That's just the image I'm getting.
Doesn't have a top hat.
How difficult is it going to be to get him into the Rogue Trader's premises? Because that's liturgical is in the Rogue Trader's compound, right?
He's in the You can take the shuttle and fly it into the Rogue Trader's hangar bay for.
Okay,
you're gonna have to take a vehicle from the port to the Rogue Trader's facility, but that happens all the time.
Yeah,
it's just a question of if you're willing to go to bat to protect this guy from being arrested and basically butchered for being a heretical psyker, which he almost certainly is.
Clearly, but yeah, let's do it.
Okay. You pay him the 1,200 Macarian solars, and
I charge it to the Rogue Trader's accounts.
Not this time, my friend. It's directly from you.
All right, that's fine.
You try to charge it to the Rogue Trader's accounts, and they're like,
the paperwork comes back
the person who handles this is liturgical.
Of course.
You can't process the paperwork, so you can't get the funds.
What is it? What did you say it was? 1,200?
1,200. You can also add this man to your contacts.
Okay. Do I have a tab for that in here? I guess influence, technically.
Yeah. His name is D''Jenke. Jenke.
So I have a faction to put him under, and it gives me a list.
His faction is Infractionist.
That's what I thought. And what was his name?
Jenke.
Jen
D
something
Jenke.
Okay.
All right, Rassie. It's Medicaid time, baby. I don't think you need to make the roll. I think he makes the roll, but you have to spend the time to convince him to do this, essentially.
Wait, so reading the entry for this,
he's already been paid. He's been found. Yeah. He's been paid, but it still requires somebody to undertake Medicaid and Extremis to make it happen.
Yeah, I've went out and fetched your boy for you.
So I think I give you, I pay you back so that I'm paying for the endeavor.
Okay.
Wow.
He has a skill of 70, so I'm in on a 15. He gets like 5+ degrees of success.
Let me put that 1,200 back in my account.
So he comes in, and the Medicaid. What was this guy's name? Was it like Dr.
Chengi?
Bob?
Oh, the NPC doctor?
Yeah, the NPC doctor. That's what you're going to call him, the NPC doctor?
I don't know why NPC even came out of my mouth, but I don't remember.
So the doctor is asked to remove all of the electronic equipment and like anything Imperial from the room. And so it's just liturgical struggling to breathe. And Jenke has like candles and like red salt brought in, and he begins forming Solomon circles on the ground. There's a very like 6-pointed star thing going on. And then there's like a 4-pointed rune on the wall over him. They put blackout curtains on the 3 observation walls. And the nurse's station just does not, like, they don't respond to anything coming from that room for the next few hours. There's like a bone-chilling howl at all times for the next few hours. And then it suddenly stops. And everyone's ears pop. And Jenke exits the room and says, "He will awaken in 3 days, Mr. Rassie van Lucht."
Thank you for your time.
The Servoskull says, "Yeah, sure. We can show up anytime." And then the two of them leave together.
Rassie is deeply uncomfortable.
I imagine Rassie had to stay back a certain distance, too, in order for him to do his thing.
I mean, he could not do it if Rassie was nearby. That's correct.
Yeah.
Liturgical appears to just be heavily sleeping. All right, so Rassie, you still have 1 downtime activity, and James has 2. I think we got time for 1 more before break, for sure.
I think let's let James do his.
All right, so my first one is going to be garner reputation.
Okay.
So I'm spending a lot of time like with the perfunctory members of the ecclesiarchy, like remember that
the scribes and like the underscribes,
but also trying to gather reputation with Father Firebrand's group as well. So like trying to like join in with some of his sermons. Like obviously, I've only ever sort of like stood to the side, but seeing if I can get the okay to also give some words. So that, so the people are hearing from me as well.
It's been a hot minute since I've been in a church, but I'm pretty sure that the preacher will have someone else speak occasionally on a different topic before the main sermon. So they call you in a couple times to warm up the crowd. Okay, so it's a rapport charm test. It is rapport charm, and even if it's with Father Firebrand, it is still with the ecclesiarchy.
Yep, I'm going to spend a fate point to make it with advantage, and I've got 2 SL, 1 from my influence, 1 from my ornamental robes.
So ornamental. So tactical.
I don't know if I've ever told you this, but I bought a pair of like boots ages ago that were like listed as SWAT boots, like as in like SWAT, and the byline on the boots was sports shoe comfort, tactical performance, and that's why I bought the shoes, just for that byline.
Of course, the word, if you add the word tactical, you can throw in an extra 50%. While lowering the quality. Yeah. Your roll would not have been, but your SLs get you over the line for sure. You have several impressive performances with Father Firebrand. It's not that you pop off like he does, because this guy is like, he's a firebrand, right? But someone's got to prep the crowd for that. And normally he preps the crowd by, I think you've seen it before, like he waits and lets the crowd work themselves up into a frenzy. You do that for him now, and it makes the meetings a lot more active. I don't want to call them clandestine, but you meet with the scribes and like the lowest ranking, still sentient non-servitor members of the ecclesiarchy, and you are rising in the ranks of their esteem. They aren't used to communicating directly with clergy folk like yourself. Like sisters normally consider themselves kind of above talking to people here for the most part. And the like big three are very rigid in their formality. You've already seen how perfunctory and bureaucratic they are. There's a very real like Pope Mobile, red shoes kind of environment where they are above everyone else, like literally physically. Even talking to them is above their notice.
I think that because charismatic cult leaders, it's always the thing of like he's saying what we're thinking. Yeah, it's always. But whereas that's Father Firebrand's thing. My thing is she's saying what we didn't know. Like she's telling us what big ecclesiarchy doesn't want us to know.
Yeah, there we go.
So it's pedagogy, I think, really. So
big ecclesiarchy, amazing.
All right. We're going to take a break on that bone-chilling thought. And when we get back, we've got 2 more endeavors and a basketball game to win against the Monstars. Now, that's actually the plot to the first Space Jam movie. The good one. Really the only. Let's pretend that that's the only Space Jam movie, really.
I was going to say, aren't we playing against the Garage Band or something like that?
So we're going to skip doing that one. Right, we're going to assume that you win that, and we're going to go directly to the finals.
Isn't there going to be like a montage of the progress through the rounds?
Yeah, sure.
Like, yeah.
There's only one round left, though. It's the Garage Band round, and then the finals versus.
Oh, okay. So it's because we can maybe need a montage song.
We're not turning this into another musical episode. We got to save that card. First off, the whole episode has to be a musical, and second, we have to save that card for a special day. We'll be back in about 5 minutes for the second third.
It was so stupid dry, too. Oh, my God. It's almost as bad as, what was it, the shelf staple bread that was basically, it almost was like a glazed cardboard bread product. And glazed is really being very generous.
Military members out here talking about hardtack.
I mean, that's basically what it could have been.
That's where we make the meat, of course. They're forced to eat pemmican and a hardtack with powdered milk.
Oh,
the legendary jalapeno cheese.
Oh man, that stuff is gold. That was right up there with any nicotine product.
The vomit omelet.
Yeah. I was so glad when they got rid of that, and then after 5 or 10 years of my military service, they brought it back.
Yeah, it's back.
Yeah, it's back. It's been back, but it felt like it was gone for a number of years.
It's got nothing on the chili mac and cheese, apparently.
That's the best one, from what I hear.
Yeah, that's I mean, just a general browsing of MRE markets would indicate that it is consistently sold out. So, Velamris Quineel, you find a letter on your desk that says, your work desk, that says there are many who have upset an Inquisitor before, and there are many whose names are known to Inquisitors, but there are few people who are on both lists that are still alive. Consider yourself fortunate.
I imagine this letter is not signed.
It is not signed.
I think he's gonna, at some point, that's gonna end up on his one of his paranoia boards, just as a reminder.
Okay.
I don't like. He looks at this letter and he reads it over a few times. And he's like, okay, I think, at the risk of being flippant, he just doesn't know what to do with it. It's like, okay, yeah, I figured this out on my own. I'm very much lucky to be alive because, one, the Inquisition isn't well known for being well known, or is it? You know what I mean? It's the boogeyman of sorts, and the fact that he's still breathing after meeting this guy who claims to have been, Inquisitor Profundus or what have you, the fact that he's still breathing he's thankful. And I think there's a part of him that believes it's because of his faith in the God Emperor, despite any corruption that may or may not still be lingering.
Okay. I mean, you only have one point of corruption, right?
Yeah.
I just wanted to make a point that your level of corruption is known. It doesn't affect you yet, but
right.
It is known.
I think some of that corruption is why he wants to get some devout worship in, just to try to balance the scales, as it were.
Well, unfortunate that you have no time left.
I thought I still had an endeavor left.
Didn't you spend one endeavor to give you advantage on the data delve, one endeavor to do the savant?
No, data delve is just a talent he's got.
Oh, I thought he asked if he could burn a endeavor for that. Okay.
No. I was trying to use the talent as part of looking for the savant.
Well, each of you has a remaining endeavor, and then we've got the Monstars. What do you want to do?
I would like to. Major Rain is supposed to be giving me an update, so I want to work with the local guard and consolidate influence.
Okay.
You got 3 contacts, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Let's see. Consolidate.
It turns out when you're a temporary planetary governor, you get to talk to people.
Contacts just come out of the woodwork.
Yeah, there's a reason why Rassie's not leaning into the pageantry.
So you are doing this with...
This is a rapport test.
Yes, but the faction that you are choosing is Astra Militarum?
Yes.
Okay. It is a +0. If you are successful, it will increase by 1, and that will push you over.
If I succeed, influence goes up by 1, and then the contacts each go down by 1.
Yeah,
Yes.
they get removed, basically.
Yep.
And because it's a personal endeavor, I can't get any help from anybody. All right.
Okay.
4.
Nice.
Crawled across that line, huh?
Yeah.
You use a fate point on that?
Nope.
No, he has bonus success levels from being Astra Militarum himself.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
So you will lower your influence with those contacts by 1, and you will raise your influence with the faction by 1. So, yeah, I mean, you're not peacocking around. You're certainly nothing like a martinet like the previous holder of command of the regiment. But you quietly and considerately consolidate power and make sure that this one regiment is ready to go. And, you know, as a larger regiment with thousands of people, it certainly requires some organization. In the reorganizing, of course, the company of, by company I mean basically almost a regimental-sized order of infantrymen who were using Elysian drop trooper outfits and now have to get back to training on the ground with their feet. The situation with the Space Hulk stabilizes. There's a very strong like defensive hold against the Greenskins and against the Dark Eldar. And there is some question of if you'd like to push the Green Zone out and claim more territory on the Space Hulk, or if you want to push deeper in a less controlled, more dangerous manner, but try to uncover more artifacts and things of value, which is primarily the entire reason this colony exists. Like, the mining is nice, but the mining has been done like hundreds of years ago. This colony exists to support pushes into the Space Hulk and recover things. However, no one is forcing you to do this. Like, you have no orders to get deeper in here. That's technically the job of the rogue trader. But yeah, your staff basically fill you in that, like, without the previous holder of this office spent a lot of time doing cavalry charges down hallways, one flying cat lizard wide against, you know, like 2 or 3 orcs. So it was basically just like a lot of running towards them and then running backward. And the cavalry are really not the support troops you want leading the charge inside of a Space Hulk. So Colonel Renard's insistence that his cavalry lead the way led to a lot of stalemates. And putting Cadians in charge has led to a lot more suppressive fire and blowing holes in the sides of walls to attack through flanking maneuvers. Just kind of really basic infantry tactics.
Yeah, it makes a lot more sense to Rassie. I definitely don't want them to just sit on the defense. Yeah, let's use the fact that this regiment is super reinforced to make some risky moves.
Okay, I'd like you to roll D100 then.
Okay.
Basically just a luck check. We'll see how you do on this die.
Is high good or low good?
Low is good. It's Warhammer 40K. Low is good.
Can I?
Yeah, you can.
Like that?
Yeah. 92 would be disastrous for you, really. Not
a lot
quite.
of 90s.
Okay, 5 is very
I'll
good.
take that reroll.
Wow. We got a lot of wide waves here.
Why is this?
So they report back that through a truly heroic effort and the loss of almost 1,000 men, they have secured corridor J7 for you. And they personally present you with a conversion field that they have found.
Oh, nice.
For your personal use. And they let you know that they have found intel based on human writings. Whatever, like, this Space Hulk is made up of numerous ships that have been merged together in the warp. And there are savants and others, like skilled sages, who are working to uncover like what these ships are and what their purpose is. this specific ship afforded by Traverse Down Quarter J7 seems to be an old human ship, like thousands of years old. And there is writings indicating that a series of protectors are being held in medical stasis deeper in. And like this was already a stretch expedition for them. And again, 1,000 people are dead as a part of this, but green blood is everywhere. Like they killed a shit ton of greenskins to pay the price for this. If you personally are willing to lead your Rogue Trader team in deeper, you could uncover more about the secrets of these ancient protectors who are stored in medical stasis and could still be alive. And even if they aren't, a room full of ancient medical equipment could be of immense value. Yeah, that's what a 5. That's what a critical success gets you on a luck check.
I'll take that.
Yeah,
that feels good.
So the conversion field is a top hat.
No, okay.
I'm seeing a top hat theme here.
Hey, listen, he
It went around
manifested
and
this.
came around.
He manifested it into existence.
I mean, there was also the mention of Abraham Lincoln earlier too, so I feel like that's somewhat, at least tangentially related.
Not what I was talking about, but related.
No.
Listen, if I wanted to talk about Abraham Lincoln, I'd be talking at least 4 score in the past, probably more.
40,000 score.
40,000 score is like before humanity.
Oh yeah, long ago.
That's hominid territory, I believe. But yeah,
I'm going to look up the rules here for that. While other people do their endeavors.
Yeah, it's nice. If I read it the way I thought I read it, I read it. It's nice. James, would you like to do your next individual endeavor?
I remember you doing yours first because I said did mine last time. So
okay, I'll do mine. Mine's just a simple one. I think, like I mentioned earlier, with Velamris having been exposed, I don't remember exactly how he took that corruption, but I think he kind of knows that something is a little bit off. But also, especially with the Inquisition really close to him right now, he's more motivated to demonstrate how faithful he really is, and he's been spending a lot more time going to church, as it were. He is neglecting to go to the Firebrand side of the house, though, because I think he feels like they're definitely... He doesn't feel like they're completely on the up and up, so he wants to go with the more, I guess, conservative approach, I guess is the way to phrase it.
Okay. I would like a challenging lore test, so +0.
Correct. And I have no advantage options for me here. And I do not do well. But that doesn't hurt me.
It doesn't hurt you. You go to church, you pray, and you pray for salvation for your soul. You are concerned. Now you've seen a physical incarnation of this rune that you've seen in your mind. You now truck with strange things, heretical devices, summoning of strange spirits. You already spend far more time with liturgical. And on the opposite side of it, whenever you are close to Rassie, you feel a enmity toward him and a nothingness towards other people. His lack of a soul trains around you. And so you're constantly being pulled like way in this direction and then pushed all the way down over and over again. And those waves generated in your mind have left you sweating for confession, and you find no solace nor peace during your time.
That's totally in line with the grim dark future.
If you'd critically failed, we would have done a Hunchback of Notre Dame, Beata Maria song. Oh, fire. That song is incredible. They really do not make them like they used to. Compare that shit to the Disney, the Wish song from Wish. Now, there's a villain song. That's all I'm saying.
I mentioned to you about the villain singing his own song in Baldur's Gate 3.
Yes,
It's been very much compared to a Disney villain. So.
I mean, look, there are some good Disney villains who have great songs, like, of course, Scar. And there are some bad Disney villains, like the prince from Frozen, who didn't even get a villain song.
I still feel like Gaston is
oh, Gaston has it, but he doesn't. It's not his song. It's LeFaux's song that he's singing about Gaston.
Yeah. But I still feel
Gaston has several songs, but they aren't his villain song. His villain song is sung by his gay lover. And don't get me wrong, the song is fire. 5 dozen eggs? I'm roughly the size of a barge? That's some fucking tight lyrics right there, but it's hard to compete with literal, like, straight up Nazi anthem from, I mean, Lion King. They were like, all right, so we're going to make something for kids. Don't go too hard. Like, let's just have a couple good songs. And then Circle of Life hits you and it's like, okay, calm down. We don't need another big musical number. And then Scar and the Hyenas show up. Whoopi Goldberg's like, we're going to fucking blow the top off this motherfucker again.
Like that meme?
What? It wasn't even Jeremy Irons.
I know it wasn't Jeremy Irons. I know, but it was still good.
Like
it doesn't have to be Jeremy Irons to be good. There are plenty of good things that aren't Jeremy Irons based. Yes, he's great in Kingdom of Heaven. But he wasn't in Starship Troopers, so that was still a great movie.
What about the D&D movie?
Which D&D movie? That's the question. Which D&D movie?
The one Jeremy Irons.
The older one.
It's bad, but they're all bad. The first 3 D&D movies are bad. Let's just accept it, okay?
It's where he completely chewed the set because he's like, this is an awful movie, but fuck it, I'm going to have fun.
It's the Street Fighter conundrum, okay?
Yeah.
You gotta go out. You gotta go out with a bang. All right. Who do we have after Velamris Quineel failing to religious hierarchy for a second time?
I think it's just me now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Somebody put something in TAP. I want to try and get a piece of exotic gear.
Okay.
It said that, the GM may allow things like downtime actions like crafting or commissioning.
Yes.
And commissioning, it says you get you get a tech priest to make it, but we don't really have tech priests. What I'm trying to get
tech
is
priests that work for the Rogue Trader.
Okay. So what I'm trying to commission then is a refractor field.
Yes.
Which is exotic. Presumably we have a tech priest we can use. It's just I spend the money and you decide how long it takes until it's actually made.
I feel like it'll be ready to go by the end of the month.
Okay, cool. Well, that's what
it
I would like to
says
do.
Weeks, months, or even years. I feel like I don't want to say a refractor field is simple, but I have to imagine that the Rogue Trader has them made for his senior staff regularly.
Yeah, and it's only 1,000 credits. They're not like I'm not like going for
They're
a
not
conversion
field. Yes, I know.
No.
My man Rassie rocking that conversion field top hat right now, looking so ahistorical, out of genre while wearing it instead of wearing his guardsman helm.
All right. Well, I'll deduct the soulless. When you have a chance, could you please add a refractor field to my sheet?
Okay.
I went digging around into the compendium packs and found my conversion field, and then I just renamed it.
Top hat field.
The conversion top hat.
Yeah, there you go.
Your refractor field should be on your.
Thank you.
Look at all those grenades you have.
I need a athletics roll from the two of you, and Holly can give me some sort of cheering. I think rapport, perhaps, or fellowship, something.
Leadership? Would you take leadership?
I think you took it last time, didn't you?
I will, but only if you agree that you are actively leading. You can't just be like, I'm there cheering. I want Coach Holly. I want a whistle around her neck. I want a sweat blanket, a clipboard for sure. I want who's your little rat guy?
Gropsis.
Gropsis.
Yeah.
I want you ordering Gropsis like, Gropsis, give him 10 more laps.
Like I've discovered the hell of weekend sport with my kids now, so I am well functioned in.
You know who I'm describing then. You've seen this person
grown
before.
adults yelling at 9-year-olds.
Yeah. Well, these aren't 9-year-olds. These are your colleagues. But yeah.
Could I make an argument that I try to play super aggressively to try to tire out part of the other team?
Yeah. I'll say
endurance?
this. I'll let you roll. I'll let you do that. But on a failure, you will subtract success from your team because you'll end up fouling.
Ooh.
Okay.
Seems legit, though.
Okay. All right. So you
Can I
need
roll
2 of the 3
dexterity?
needs to be a success, unless Rassie fails, in which case you're basically doomed without a critical success.
Don't roll just yet, because I was thinking of buying Overseer as a talent, which is a leadership talent, which may actually be
Unbelievable.
a benefit.
It makes his leadership role so much more important as the coach.
Yeah, yeah. AP, can I use dexterity instead of athletics?
No.
Okay.
I appreciate the hustle on that one, but no, absolutely
I'm pretty sure I used dexterity last time, but
That's
I could
true,
be wrong.
but this time we're doing athletics.
No, that's fine.
All right, no, it's not the one I thought it was. Unflinching.
Oh, it
presence
doesn't let you automatically win a basketball game?
No, it just means that people I'm leading can use my skill instead of theirs, but they don't want to use my athletics. I can tell you that.
I was hoping to get do we get a +1 SL from James from rolling some shenanigans?
No. His success makes it easier for you to succeed overall.
That's that's where I was getting at. Was if he succeeds, we get a success.
You need 2 successes between the 3 of you. Critical successes count twice, and if Rassie fails being aggressive, you lose the success. For fouling.
But I'll roll first to see if I just blow the game.
To see what. -0.
-0.
It's still a failure, though.
You
Do
can
you
buy
have
it.
a fate point?
I don't have any more fate.
Well,
son
and
of a
that's
bitch.
real unfortunate. Rassie
So now
is
we need
booted
4
from the
successes.
game almost immediately for unsportsmanlike conduct. Arguing with the ref, like Rassie goes aggro for sure, and Suprenza and the rest of the Elysian drop troopers go in on it, and the ref just like tosses Rassie in like the first 2 minutes of the game.
I was gonna say 13 minutes left in the first period or quarter or whatever it is.
He's out. Get him off this court.
Okay, wait. Before you do that,
Here's James. There it
deal
is.
maker. I can learn what the target would accept as a bribe.
Is this a talent you need to buy first before you do?
I have deal maker.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
Are you gonna bribe the refs? Is this
Well,
Blood Bowl almost?
it depends what he wants.
Yeah. All right. Let me think about this. Let me think of who the ref is. So the ref is someone in a corporation.
I need to make a roll first. Intuition
okay.
sorry. Or else I can't do it.
I still need to think of who the ref is. Who is a neutral member of a corporation that everyone would trust in this sort of departmental environment? Who's above it all?
HR.
I was gonna say
I think
HR is the
HR
first thing I
has a
think
team though, but let me double check before I commit to that.
Or the OSHA person, you know.
Oh, the OSHA person. I actually love that.
Somebody in safety.
Pablite is the referee for sure. Maybe that's part of the reason he boots Rassie.
Would he take the bribe of the sister will never have another unaccompanied visit down to his lab?
Well, it definitely it does say that some people can't be bribed. So
This guy can definitely be bribed for sure.
Yeah.
Let me think about what does a OSHA inspector, engineer, product tester want.
Less people
I think
bothering
that
him.
what he wants from you is your guarantee that you can get liturgical to get him a 2-week vacation, all expenses paid by the rogue trader. He wants to staycation and like live like a noble for 2 weeks, essentially.
okay. So, but before I do that, can I just ask: is liturgical technically like part? Like, it's our team is part of liturgical's. Okay, cool. So, all right then.
Liturgical
yes,
is your supervisor.
Yeah, so it's fine.
It was
So our success is his successes. So yes, this is a fair thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would he accept a two-week assignment at the Road Traders Mansion?
I think so. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I am just. So I'm going to tell you right now that in 2 weeks from now, you get a notice that Hoplite has left the company and is also never seen again after his time at the mansion.
Okay.
You know what? The end of this basketball game has like a in memoriam black screen, which is like last time seen alive in Hoplite at this basketball game.
So what does that bribe get us?
That bribe is going to reduce the effect of your double failure. So now you still need 2 successes going forward. You don't need 3 successes.
I'm no longer providing a penalty.
Yes, and you are also booted from the field.
Okay.
He's got to watch it on TV.
So you two need to succeed.
Yeah.
I make my leadership test then.
Nice. Oh wait, no, that's
She hasn't got the roll yet.
Hey, it's a win.
Okay. Crawling across the. We cut back into the montage flashback as it's like a acoustic guitar version of "Eye of the Tiger." No, it's like a banjo version. You know, like a double speed banjo version. Bam, 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 bam. Can
we get a ukulele?
This is like Velamris running up a bunch of stairs, but like,
It's Velamris doing like one-handed push-ups, and then like a person walks past sideways, and the camera pans out, and he's just leaning against a slightly sloped wall.
That's it. All right, let's do this. Let's do this roll here.
Destroyed. Absolutely destroyed.
Yeah.
I think you can burn a fate point permanently.
I don't have any available, and I wouldn't burn
you can
anyway.
burn a fate point.
I don't think I would burn a fate point.
You'd remove it forever.
Yeah.
This isn't important enough for you?
I just feel like it's not. It's a big deal for the crew, for the basketball tournament and everything, but burning a fate point for that? I don't know. That seems a bit
Here's how
much.
it goes. Last minute, the score is tied up. It's so close, but you're 4 versus 5. You know, Rassie's off the field. Velamris, you've got the ball. You pass through everyone. You weave. You go for the jump. You're about to make the flying dunk from downtown. And then one of the guys from the mechanic shop, his arm, just Inspector Gadgets, grabs the ball from you, pulls it down. You go up, your hand slams on the bucket, and it hurts so bad. It hurts so bad to hit it with bare flesh. And you swing, and your leg kicks the pole, and you fall back on the ground as this guy takes his extendo arm, is just... And then you see that like the whole team has been waiting to use their work-related cybernetics this whole game. And for the last drive, they absolutely, like, one of them has like extendo legs and just like takes the ball and dunks it without actually jumping. All right, the Garage Boys are just like, woo! Oh no, sorry, it's the security troopers who work down in the vault. Yeah, they're literally just like peacocking around. They have only won by 1 basket, but they are losing their minds like this is the greatest moment of their whole life.
Yeah, so this work-related intramural tournament of like 6 teams.
You're pretty sure one of them is wearing one of the suits of power armor underneath his basketball. Like his basketball jersey is 3 times too large for his body, and you're looking at him, and you're like, is that guy wearing the top part power armor?
The unpowered part?
Yes, exactly.
This is not the end, though. So here's what we need to do. First thing I'll do as the sort of team coach, I will submit a formal protest, and then afterwards, Omar, Velamris, you need to go and like look through all the sign-up paperwork, and you need to find some documentary error that they made to disqualify
you want me to admin them?
This is your specialty. You need to go and you need to find like some bit of some explanation that they didn't. It doesn't need to be solved. Doesn't need to be solved today. It just needs to be solved before the next round. That's all.
Which is so funny because as far as Rassie's concerned, this is everything Rassie wanted out of it. Everyone had a good time. Like, we can win next year.
No.
And,
This
like,
was the final round.
super-
This was the whole tournament here.
Yeah.
But yeah, Velamris, if you wanna win on a technicality like a sniveling, backstabbing coward, I will allow for you to go through. I'm not even going to ask you to make a roll. You're good enough to do this. You're good enough to forge this.
I'm not gonna forge it. That would be questionable.
Like Holly definitely wants to win, so she's like,
I'm definitely. I'll make the lore roll if you want. I'm not.
Okay.
I don't think Velamris would forge it.
All right.
He was like, he would definitely go through it, and if he
I'm
doesn't
going to
find
ask
it,
you
he
to
doesn't
roll at
find it.
-10 then because you're not forging it.
Do I get a +10 for being honest to myself and not Emperor?
No, but Holly can help you. There's no +10 for being honest. You don't get a +10 for being honest to yourself while forging a document. No.
So you get advantage from helping you.
Oh, okay. Well, I get advantage already from
Well, then there's nothing to it then.
Well, I get advantage. I guess ultimately
You can't get double advantage. It's not that kind of system. In fact, there is no system with double advantage.
Put this -10 in here. Ha!
You disqualify them?
We are so petty. I love it.
2 days after the tournament ends, HR descends on the vault security and removes their small golden statue of a person holding up a golf club that says #1 golf champions, and the golf has been scratched out and been replaced with basketball champions of the 42nd millennia.
Yeah. We are definitely Ben Stiller in dodgeball, just so you know. Like, suck it, LaFleur.
This is so petty, but HR presents you with the technicality that because the power armor was not registered properly, you win on the technicality that illegal equipment was used.
I
feel so bad.
Also, that guy gets fired for using power armor at a basketball game when he's supposed to be guarding the priceless gear.
Which is funny though, because it was the unpowered half of the power armor.
Yeah, but he's still using priceless artifacts on a basketball
absolutely.
court. Yeah,
absolutely.
Misappropriation of rogue trader property.
Yeah.
And watch how no one signs up next to you.
Yeah, you've absolutely, for a brief moment, everyone felt better and work got closer, and all of you were heroes. And now you are the villains of this story. You have the victory, and no one likes your team, and you've managed to turn the whole company against itself, as people are now bitter by it.
So the net result is -1.
There is a psychic force of disappointment and distaste by everyone. It has, however, made HR stronger.
Oh boy.
Yeah, look, if I wanted factional influence with part of my company, HR is a part of my company I want factional influence.
Well,
with.
great, you've got it. They love getting to do that. They love dunking on people.
Yeah.
And like energy vampires, they thrive on an environment of mistrust.
Oh, jeez. In one roll, you undid everything Rassie wanted to do in this basketball tournament.
Now, look, Rassie, let's sit down and talk for a second. You accomplished what you set out to do. Just because it didn't last forever doesn't mean it was a failure.
Did you guys tell Rassie that you were involved in this identification of technicality, or do you just
I definitely would have said to both of you we should do this, So, like, if Rassie would have stepped in to stop it, then that's something to consider. But I wouldn't have hidden it from Rassie. Like, we can still win this. All we need to do is, find some technicality.
Rules lawyering ourselves.
Rassie would have expressed a disinterest in doing it, but I don't think Rassie would have. I don't think Rassie would have thought that the sister was being serious, so wouldn't have fought it very hard. Like, yeah, okay. I think it's not very sportsmanlike, but all right, whatever.
Ask yourself: would Liturgical have wanted to win?
We all show up and all our jerseys have liturgical space on there. Remember liturgical. Even though he's coming back to work in a few days.
I do want to go visit liturgical.
Yeah, he should be waking up by now.
I mean, I've basically been sleeping in his room, so I'm probably there when he wakes up.
At the end of the month, he does indeed wake up. And he immediately begins saying, I have a message. Rassie, get out of the room. Someone's trying to communicate with me right now.
I roll off of the other medical bed and skitter across to the end of the room.
You can see he's in intense concentration. He begins writing down wingdings on a piece of paper.
Okay. I mean, I'm not going to approach him until he's done. Okay. I have no idea what that means.
I love that wingdings is the official font of Imperial communication.
So, just to be clear,
has no idea what that is.
Telepaths or astropaths, sorry, encrypt communications, and also unless they're very powerful, it has to be abstract to communicate.
Yeah. No, I got you.
So you've already got something abstract, and then it has to be encrypted to be sent. So yeah, he interprets it in his mind as webdings, or sorry, wingdings, and he says, "The rogue trader has arrived quite late, and one of the ships is greatly damaged and is running repairs in orbit. I do not think they're going to make it back before the end of the year, which is going to cause quite a few problems. How have you been, and why have you been eating my pudding?" He says, looking at the pudding that has been eaten. We're going to get a break on that one.
Okay.
It's a little early, but that feels like a real break cut.
That
right
is
there.
a good time to break.
Welcome back. It's a brand new month. You know that the rogue trader has arrived very late. That there could be problems with his arrival. He certainly will not be back anytime soon.
Okay.
And Liturgical is awake.
I didn't really have a whole lot of indication Liturgical, but I hope that my presence helped at least somewhat.
Yes, I think it did. You should know what I did there has taken a toll on me.
And it was impressive, for sure. Just I guess let me know if you need anything. I'd like to help.
Okay. Can you get me a walker? Because I haven't walked anywhere in over a month, I think.
Yeah, I'll get you a walker.
You can walk him to his first stand-up of the month.
Wow, what a callback.
Yeah, I'll go get him a walker.
Yeah, I mean, Liturgical's not going to be back in the office for a few days. He's going to still be on medical leave, but he is out of the coma, awake and moving around. With no HIPAA violations in sight, the Medicaid lets you know that his psychic strength has been reduced, and he will never be as strong as he once was.
Part of why I said, could I send Enhoplide to the mansion was I was going to send a note to, what's his name again? The
Drablian Fringus.
Yes, I'm sending someone to keep you company for a while.
Yeah, of course. Drablian sends you a note back after the 2 weeks and says, we had to process Mr. Hoplite, but I appreciate you sending him to me. Our time together was extremely memorable, and our meals were delicious.
Fantastic.
We had to process him.
I'm just getting a picture in my head of this dude that works so hard, but then he takes a vacation and he dies because he has nothing better to do.
So like most engineers, I guess. Like regular, normal engineers, yeah.
I was just going to go with the old the old thought that old retirees, military retirees, that shortly after they retire they pass because they're not working anymore.
I could think of somebody like that. Yeah.
Why are you looking at me when you say that?
I'm not looking at you.
I know.
I'm looking at Sid Alpha when I say that.
Ah.
All right, so we still need to. Can we have a quick update of the black / whiteboard, which is a blackboard, isn't it?
It's a chalkboard.
A chalkboard, yes.
Legit chalkboard, not a whiteboard, not a
so
dry
basketball
erase board.
game is off it. You still have promises you made to the RBTs months ago. You have the official paperwork for Pop-Up Winkers, which is in transit. It should arrive in the next 10 years. You have yet to contact the Crueltist Porcine dealer. You have yet to do SE optimization for Pop-Up Winkers. And you have yet to do the fake restaurant empire building, I believe. You have to... I think you started the process, but never finished the process of getting him an Imperial license to set up franchises.
Yeah, well, that was a 10-year thing. That was a 10-year thing.
Yeah.
So he's limited to only selling outside the Imperium for the next 10 years, but then he's got to,
Then you have Velamris's inquiry into the Adeptus Mechanicus.
And out of character, to be clear, Velamris has basically been told stop. Stop.
Well,
you've been told stop several times. It still hasn't stopped you.
Yeah. No, but like this time it was by someone claiming to be, Lord Master.
To be.
I'm just saying,
Jesus.
Allegedly says he's Lord Inquisitor Profundus. Whoever he may really be is,
If you assume that everybody in the Imperium who put a bag over your head was an Inquisitor, you'd be having a pretty bad time.
If you're getting black bagged a lot in the Imperium, you might want to reconsider some of your life choices.
I have to be honest. What do you think the spread is on people who will black bag you and openly wear a symbol of the Inquisition and claim to be an Inquisitor, but aren't? How many people like that do you think exist? You know what I mean? Like, that's the kind of thing where if you pull it off a couple times, you'll seem really impressive, but then at some point the real Inquisition's going to get involved.
Yeah. I think you can only get away with that maybe once. So you could say that
this person is allegedly an Inquisitor. Sure. I don't know how you'd prove that anyone is who they say they are if that's your allegedly.
I love this videos on YouTube where someone's pretending to be a cop, and then like an actual cop, comes up to them and they try to keep the facade going for as long as possible, really, really poorly.
We got a 420 on the block.
My favorite one was a guy who went to Walmart and pretended to be an FBI agent. And the local sheriffs came in, and like one of them was just chuckling behind the guy while the other cop was just calm, cool, collected, asking him a couple very pointed questions that he couldn't talk his way through. It was just like, these are such obvious entrapment questions to just be like, okay, how many charges can we lay on this? Because we're going to get you. Like, we knew coming into this.
It's like I seen this Stolen Valor video the other day, and somebody had asked him, was like, what regulation allows you to wear that particular uniform or something along those lines? And the guy could not come up with the answer. It was like, you don't remember AR 670-1? And he's like, it was like, I ended the video at that point. I don't even know if there's anything more than that, but I was like, yeah, clearly this guy was Stolen Valor or something.
There's a tattoo that says death from above.
Yeah, there you go. You apes want to live forever?
I do want to make an appointment with the Navy.
Sorry, with who?
With the Navy.
The Imperial Navy?
Yeah.
Was it Commodore Equus something or other?
Yeah.
Now that a month has passed away, how far away is the Blue Ribbon camp? The Blue Ribbon.
How far along in their process?
All right, hold on here. It's 3 months to complete the Blue Ribbon commission, so you are being investigated passively during that time.
Okay, so it has begun. Yes,
it's okay. They expect it will take 3 months to finish the whole commission.
All right, no worries.
But they just want to make sure everyone has a purity of thought and action.
I'm so excited for this Holly plot. I really want to hear the next.
I think my favorite
leg
part
in
about this is
plan.
that I assumed that James would either succeed on this role or that he would flip the table. And the fact that he's going to make me go through all of the stages that I listed is the real reverse Uno card on me.
But I would, so I'm happy to do this in your schedule. I would like to try and schedule like a face-to-face meeting with the commissioner or whoever's conducting the commission,
of course,
at some point in the near future.
Sure, we can do that today. Sounds like Rassie is doing something right now, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm good with either or. I'm just
No. You asked first. You asked first.
Let's start with Commodore Dressagius. How are you requesting this meeting? As a trooper? Are you requesting it as a sergeant? Are you requesting it as Imperial Commander? Are you requesting it as a member of the Rogue Trader staff? Like, there's so many ways to present yourself here that will give you different responses.
Yeah.
And I believe that you didn't meet her last time, right? It was Velamris and Holly that met her?
Correct. Because
Okay.
I set up that original meeting, but then I ended up burning people in the streets.
I was just gonna say you had to go turn people into toast.
You're an Imperium citizen. That's like the best thing you can have at the end of the day is a good burning.
I think I will go as... I'll go as a member of the Rogue Trader's House.
Okay. It will take a few days, but they schedule in a quick 5-minute meeting for you. So you are shown into the Commodore's like ready room aboard her ship, which is docked to the station, where like a carafe has been set out, like little tiny cups of coffee.
Yeah, I've dressed appropriately as a member of the Rogue Trader House. I'm not in my guard armor, and I am wearing the top hat.
She raises an eyebrow as she enters, and then nods and sits and gestures for you to sit as well, and says, "Mr. Van Lucht,
Commodore Dressagius.
you have requested this meeting."
I understand that members from the trading house have previously approached you about the acquisition of ship munitions.
Yes. I had not heard back from them in some time.
Well, I was hoping to continue that conversation.
I see.
So,
Have you located the rogue ship munitions crew that stole our ammo then? And reacquired our lost property?
Holly orchestrated their death long enough ago. I don't remember the name of the game.
Yeah, but the stuff's already gone.
Snakes.
The whole snakes, yeah. The whole tunnel snakes rule.
Right, the tunnel snakes.
And just to be clear, their ammunition is currently in the guns of the Rogue Trader ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is why Velamris has not gone back to say anything to her.
And it's father biodynamics. Okay. Our investigation turned up that a gang by the name of the Tunnel Snakes were in possession of those munitions at one point. Unfortunately, before we had the opportunity to do a thorough investigation, they were purged by Father Firebrand.
Unfortunate, but I can't say that I am displeased at the elimination of gangers and factionists, raiders, mutineers, and heretics.
Agreed. Now, I understand that the reacquisition of the munitions that they were involved in taking was part of the agreement in order to be able to help the Rogue Trader be able to restock on ammunition upon return.
Yes, I've had to rely instead on several favors with Segmentum Command.
If the Rogue Trader House had the ability to assist in expediting a request for your replenishment, would we be able to move ahead on being able to use that as an avenue to acquire arms for the Rogue Trader?
She raises an eyebrow and says, "Through what avenue do you believe that you can expedite the workings of the Imperial Navy?"
I am currently, temporarily, Lord Governor here.
The Imperial Commander, you mean?
Yes.
That could do it. And you would use this influence to divert resources my way.
Yes.
And you would
Yes.
expect what from this agreement?
That this request would also include enough munitions for us to be able to restock the Rogue Trader's vessels upon return.
That is a very expensive ask, sir.
It is. I understand that it is. But given the theft that happened, it seems prudent to be able to replace those lost munitions as quickly as possible for your ships. And I would like to see that happen.
It's not just the lost munitions. We're losing time on training the men on the guns. With lowered munition stores, I've had to order reduced training regiments. Our gunnery will suffer as a result. We'll need replenished amounts and more training to make up for it. Diverting a portion, a tithe to you, we would need to ensure that the incoming ammunition shipment is larger than normal. If you can arrange such a thing, Imperial Commander, then I will see to it that this transactional nature of movement of goods through Imperial ships is carried out. I believe you wanted some sort of animals moved.
We were looking at transporting porcine.
I'm sure that I can contact the right people to make sure that ships that would normally take leave one place might visit a beautiful agricultural world with several captains I know of from my time at the Segmentum Academy.
And I also look forward to reducing the impact that the tunnel snakes have on your crews.
Okay. She stands up and salutes you.
I return the salute.
She holds out a hand for you to shake.
Yeah, I'll shake it.
Thank you for your time, Imperial Commander.
Thank you for yours, Commodore. And I will head back. And I will go find my paper monkey.
You're gonna need Velamris to fill out the paperwork for sure.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, I go find my
monkey
paper monkey.
awaits, my lord.
Velamris.
Yes, sir, my lord.
I have a request as Lord Governor.
As you wish.
We are going to put together a series of expedite paperwork to replenish the munitions of the Imperial Navy here.
Excellent. I think it will take me some time to put it together, but I can get started immediately, and hopefully I'll be able to do this next session when I have more fate points.
Nope, absolutely not.
Yeah, I'm a guy for trying.
Between the two of you, you must accomplish these two roles: a logic evaluation and rapport haggle.
Fuck.
Well, I'll do the haggle.
Okay, good.
I
help with
have
either
Yes,
of
you
those?
can, James. Yes, you can get involved in as well.
Okay.
What was the
Logic
the more brainy one?
evaluation, rapport haggle.
All right, I can do
You're
that.
eventually
Logic-
going to have to do
logic-
logic.
Logic I can give you advantage on. Haggle I can give you advantage and +1 SL on.
All right,
You said, is it lore or logic? Sorry.
logic.
Logic
Okay.
evaluation.
I can give you advantage on that,
Okay,
which I will.
please and thank you.
All right, I guess I will start with the haggle.
The three of you sit down to work on paperwork together, perhaps for the first time. All of you
Workshop,
spread
yeah.
out, liturgical, occasionally shuffling behind you. Okay, that's one of your 2 checks is a failure.
I thought James had to roll something.
No, I don't.
No, he gives you a valuation, or he gives you advantage and a +1 success.
Wait, what?
Sorry?
I'm just thinking. I mean, I just made the roll, so I doubt it's going to change anything. But if we're working on this together, why did I roll that instead of Holly?
I have no idea.
It wouldn't have made a big difference because I have a 50, and I would have rolled with advantage, but no +1 SL. So the same.
So 69 is not going to get you across the table.
Yeah, I have fate points, but
okay.
Do I put in the?
I will allow you to spend the fate point on this roll because all 3 of you are working together.
Okay, well I'll spend a fate point so we can reroll.
Okay.
This arrives in the form of additional pastries and coffee.
All right, I'll take a +0
with 0, fully 0. You get exactly the number you need.
Also, you don't want me rolling because I'm rolling with disadvantage, I think, because I'm without sleep right now.
That's correct. Yes.
Yeah. Holly's on like a pure calf diet.
Oh, that's why we got the pastries and whatnot. Then
yeah,
she was fiending.
Is there, for degrees of success, could I argue Astra Militarum?
No, it's Imperial Navy entirely.
Yeah, they're
can I add the Commodore as a contact for Imperial Fleet?
Yeah, sure. I now need that logic evaluation roll.
Yeah, I just want to verify on the dialogue box. I'm adding 1 for the success level.
Yes,
no, just no. I don't give it that because I don't have the evaluate skill.
Okay.
Oh,
so
okay.
He so just gets advantage. That's it.
Okay.
That's it, yeah.
Well. All right.
There we go. It looks like we managed to find some ammo.
Into motion through hours of paperwork, thousands of man-hours of work as ships are diverted from their course, going to pleasure worlds to now vacationing at an agri-world whose primary form of entertainment is tormenting pigs.
I was going to say pig riding.
Oh, do they have what is it like when they get the pig's money? You got to try and catch them.
Yeah,
it's like
yes. Several Imperial Navy troopers are arrested for using ground vehicles to go mud bogging, which leads to a cascade of events of Imperial Navy troopers trapped on the planet of Krultus because their ships leave while they are still imprisoned locally. And so they're going to have to catch up later.
We should definitely reach out to the poor sign, producer now to make sure that everything.
Part of
thousands of tons of ammunition are loaded into collier ships from the Segmentum Command and are now dispatched to the location. And based on your evaluation as to the need of the ammunition, which I assume includes things like the rogue trader, will require additional ammunition, good rates, great discounts. He's currently engaged in a fleet battle, so there will be a necessity of it. All that stuff will get the Commodore what she needs for training, and then she siphons off a couple % of the ammunition for your group as well, which is more than enough for a mere 3 combat ships and a transport.
Okay.
That sounds like we just.
You do need to contact that Krultus porcine dealer because you're now in a race against time where you have a mere series of weeks to load 1 million pigs onto a flotilla of vacationing ships.
Yeah, so we get to the end of this paperwork, and I just look over at the sister and say, "I think some coordination with Krultus might be in order. I think you might be best suited for that."
I would think Velamris actually is the master of paperwork in this particular group.
Well, I think it's not so much the paperwork; it's the actual message to Krultus that says, "Hey, the ships are coming for the pigs." That would be the Astra Telepathica.
Well, I mean, I think all he knows is that these pigs are the property of the rogue trader. So we need to sort of make contact and say that the rogue trader is collecting his goods now.
Yes, I can take the paperwork to the administratum, and if I recall correctly, the Astra Telepathica offices are across the street.
Yes, we've had too much. I don't think this warrants a psychic direct one-to-one communication. So
No.
I think communication with the
I think liturgical's done with that.
Guy is going to be just letters.
No, this isn't. I mean, this isn't information that needs to be protected or anything. And I think maybe
okay, just to be clear, this isn't even a rule. This guy has your property. You just have never contacted him. He has your property. You are telling him that your property needs to be moved. He is in agreement that, I mean, while he's been there, he's been accruing interest on it, right? Like, all of the shit that they generate is basically his property, which he sells to the planet.
They procreate too, doesn't he?
Yeah, procreate. Well, I mean, you technically are owed the interest of the additional pigs, but there's payments being involved from he gets the shit and then you pay for the feed and all of this stuff. But yeah, there's no role necessary here. I think
if we tip him like the progeny, then because all we need.
I see now.
I was thinking something like
100 head of pigs.
Well, they're holding all these pigs and
2 million porcine. Yes.
Yeah. I was also going to say maybe we should hold on to a few to regrow the herd.
You only need 1 million of the 2 million.
Yeah, that's right. And the rest will start. Remember, we're going to start to use some of their porcine for. No, it is all going to Popperonkis, isn't it? As additive to his food. Yeah. That's right. So that's fine. Yeah.
But
that is our plan to solve the food, the provisions meter.
Yeah.
And then just having more pigs for the next time around is where Velamris is going. If that's already been factored in somewhere and I missed it, then sure.
So we're taking 1 million and leaving 1 million
half
there.
Half of the pigs, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. You tip him 100 heads of pigs, to which he replies in truly obscene webdings. Thanks ye howdy, which you don't know what that means.
It's just a cowboy hat emoji. Like
I was gonna say the astropath gets the image of a cowboy riding a pig.
I have no idea what British people think of cowboys. It's got to be truly wild. It's so funny because there are like cowboy Skitarii, right? I'm pretty sure there are like Skitarii wild riders that are Avatar style mechanically attached to their mounts that have cowboy hats. I'm fairly certain that's a thing. Okay. All that you need is all underway. You've crossed your T's, you've dotted your I's, you've put all of the paperwork in motion. You've knocked out Papa Winkers, you've knocked out Kroltus Dealer, you've knocked out Restaurant Empire, Basketball Game. You've got your personal crusades, the search engine optimization, and the arbitres. And of course, there's, just in case you wanted to get real risky and do something insane, you could always delve deep into the depths of the Space Hulk.
So when I received this gift, as he gestures to the top hat, I was also notified that deeper than the regiment's penetrations into the Space Hulk, there is a human ship, an old human ship, that has advanced medical technology in it, including possibly humans in stasis. That's not something that was on their purview for the push that they did, but should we choose to, I have the information required for us to make a journey into the Space Hulk.
Well, as a hobby geneticist, that is very interesting to me. It's something that I would love to do once some more pressing matters are solved and I have like a good night's sleep.
I'm not suggesting we leave for the Space Hulk now. I wanted to let the both of you know that.
I'm just saying that right now my decision making ability is impaired. So take anything I say with a bit of salt.
that.
I think if we make a move into the Space Hulk, we need to be better prepared. Some different resources we may want to put our hands on before we head out. I am curious about these 3 thermometers. Are they full? As I look over to them.
No, we haven't got the porcine here yet.
I think that your boy goes ahead and fills that thermometer in with pork on the way.
So
assuming it doesn't get lost in the warp in transit.
We
you
also
have
don't
successfully completed your objective months early.
Yeah.
We
get business cards now. I think Velamris actually says that.
We also don't have our delivery from Clan Arbottle.
It's on its way, though. Like, you've gotten all the assurances that it is prepared and on its way. Liturgical is satisfied with your performance now and gives you all personal team evaluations with notes. And at the bottom, it has a series of check marks for, like, extremely positive to extremely negative, and all 3 of yours is the medium option, meets expectations.
Does Rassie's have a small note in there that says "I still hate you"?
Oh no, there's like a full page for each of you about the things he does and doesn't like about each of you. Velamris is consistently going off mission, solving problems with extreme violence. You're flirting with corruption. Your extremely strange love of being tased. all deeply concerning to him, and he's also considerably worried that you have drawn the eye of the Inquisition towards you, but he does appreciate that you are extremely skilled at bureaucratic paperwork in a way that he will never be, and that you have 2 functioning eyeballs.
Theoretically, his are functioning as well, with small caveats.
There's nothing in those sockets, brother.
Oh, okay. Then maybe
that's why he wears the blindfold all the time.
Yeah, okay. I didn't realize they had been burned out.
They're burned out in the glory of the God Emperor.
Yeah, maybe he clawed them out. He was in such rapture.
Could be, yeah.
I think
it also notes that you have a unusual tendency of disloyalty towards those. Like, you have to be motivated in order to accomplish tasks. And if you feel no motivation towards the task, you are eminently capable of betraying it and everything around it. And notes that, like, this is an area of improvement you could work on, is the fact that you're a backstabbing traitor.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised they didn't do the whole thing where, like, you self-evaluate and then your manager evaluates you, and then you sit down and go through the variation between what you scored yourself and what they scored you.
I'm sorry.
About why it was different.
I've been out of the corporate environment for a decade, James. They didn't do that to me back in the day. I'm sorry. I can only bring the experience I have to the table. Rassie, your paperwork is immaculate. He has almost nothing bad to say about you except the fact that you are a displeasure to deal with, and that you are generally unliked by everyone around you, and that your little stunt with the basketball game has caused serious discord within the corporation, so please cut that shit out. It meets expectations.
I think Rassie is more disappointed in the rest of us than that statement even states. He's also deeply upset.
Holly, yours is basically an evaluation that notes that you are extremely competent at what you do, and then 90% of it is concerns that you subvert your superiors at every opportunity and attempt to reach way above your station socially, secular and non-secularly, financially, maybe even, that your willingness to make deals and sidestep the proper order is entirely within the function of a rogue trader's retinue, of which you are not yet a member of, but you show promise as a future permanent employee. Until such a time, you may want to relax, though. Meets expectations.
I look at that and Holly just says, like, oh, he hasn't seen anything yet.
Deeply concerning. He does, however, ask you to write evaluations of each other and submit them to me in real life by the next time we meet.
Damn it, James! You subverted all
I
of
love
us.
that idea. Now, I'm not asking for like a full page, but a paragraph as to your thoughts about your comrades that we will then read on camera for everyone.
No, I will definitely download like one of the review documents from my HR portal and fill it out.
I was just thinking, like, if I just pull up one of my old evaluation forms and refill it out.
I am doing a 360 on each of you. So.
Velamris' rating will be based on number of times backstabbed. The
number of times you've backstabbed them, or they've backstabbed you?
That he's backstabbed them. So the lower, the better. 0 would be the ideal score that you want. That's a joke. I'm not actually going to do that. Although I'm actually tempted now that I said it out loud.
I only found it necessary to betray you 3 times. Well done. Well done.
It's funny because, and obviously Liturgical probably wouldn't know this, but the fact that Velamris was basically like, no, you know what? We are not going to dive any deeper into this AdMech bullshit because he didn't want to bring his friends into it. Well, I don't know if he would necessarily consider them friends per se, but definitely his coworkers. So I don't know if that's necessarily loyalty or disloyalty or what. But he has set something of a precedent for himself.
Okay. I do want to wrap up here so that you all can make a decision as to how you want to move forward. Right? There are several paths ahead of you. One of those paths is just wait for the rogue trader to come back. And if so, we will time skip months into the future where more events will happen. If there are personal plans that you would like to execute, I need to know what those are so I can plan around them. I do want to say there is an epilogue scene of a servitor that is like going through statistical charts, and like one hand is like determining like where something lies on a statistical curve, and the other hand is running through like sign calculations. I don't know what level of math education people have, but did you ever have to do in school, again, West Virginia had awful high schools, but did you ever have to do the trigonometry charts where it was like, here are all the values for like
where it intersects X
for
or
like
Y.
the sign value for like 0.29 something, yeah, like the charts that are basically stored in the computer. We see this thing. It has no legs. It's basically just a torso and like a horrifyingly mutated head that is doing these calculations at the same time. As the camera swings around, we see a face. It's hard to tell that if it's familiar or not, but we see that at the desk it's sitting at, it says Barnum and Hovler, statistical servitor. And now we know what punishment has been levied upon him. A man who loves evaluating things mathematically will do so for the rest of his organic days.
Amazing.
A punishment levied upon him by the Inquisition.
Amazing.
They really love irony.
So
forever, people will come up with 0.124 as the final answer.
Oh yeah, I would love if that was like his statistical flaw. You know, like occasionally it doesn't matter what the answer would be. Instead, he just outputs 0.124, and they're like, oh, fucking defective.
No, I think well, in my sense of humor, him saying that number out loud, like that's the only verbal utterance it can perform, but then it writes the correct answer.
You're so cruel. You're so cruel, ruining this fictional character's life even more.
Fuck that guy.
He's preparing himself to run a 40K game. So
yeah, that might be it. That might be
it. So Holly's personal plans are to meet with Lila, the missionary, and offer her an opportunity to join the Rogue Traders next trip, because she's stuck here, and trying to get her more on side. And then Holly wants to basically convene the Blue Ribbon Committee into a hearing which includes like the three key people, the planetary governor, representatives of the wrathful righteous, etc., and then claim that the commission should fail because the house is divided, and then try and like point out all the conflicts between the three key heads as to why they're not eligible, that they shouldn't be running the ecclesiarchy on the station, and then suggest that perhaps the combined faithful and the planetary governor should elect a new leader of the ecclesiarchy on the station to make these critical decisions.
Do you tell Rassie any of this beforehand?
No, all I tell you is I want you to be there. That's all.
Oh boy. I can't wait for the significant PC glances during that meeting.
Yeah, like, wait, what's going? What meeting is this?
Literally just got an evaluation about managing up. Immediately elevates Rassie into the limelight, throws him to the wolves, and is like, "Oh yes, and my entire plan relies on you dooming these people and replacing them."
Oh my God. Well, that'll be interesting. We'll see how this goes. That'll be interesting.
Incredible plan. Love it. What could be better? Anyone else got any plans, plots, or others?
Just ideas. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with Velamris, like kind of like long game, because I know I've mentioned in the past there's interest for him going into the Inquisition or the Rogue Trader's ship as part of his retinue. But I know either of those answers are more like end game as we fade out from the end of the series.
I think you need to currently worry about receiving his permanent employ because you're on probation.
Yeah, I think that's...
Having 3 full thermometers is a good start. That's a good start.
Yeah, I think, well, the other side of it too is like he's trying to prove himself that he's not just a paper pusher par excellence or whatever.
There it is. There's, listen,
that's what he's trying to do.
There's the start of a musical episode right there. It's just Velamris sitting at the desk saying, I have to prove I'm not just a paper pusher. As you say that, the stage comes apart around you. You smoothly stand up as someone uses a rope to pull your desk and your chair in opposite directions away from you. You do a theatrical 3-quarter turn and you look out to the audience. I'm not just a paper pusher. Someone lowers a pitchfork into your hand and a torch in the other.
I'm good with a gun.
Because don't forget, we did. I put sign-ups in the cafeteria for the company musical too. So
that's right.
That's to be resolved. Yeah. It's not just basketball, right, guys. We have culture and
what is
sport.
The musical genre and theme of this?
I'll let you know. Along with the employee evaluations here.
I would love it to be reggae based.
Oh my God.
Rassie is all about team building. He's not even going to read what it is. He's just like, oh, there's a
sign up.
Yeah, there's a sign up for a morale activity. All right, let's do this. I'm a veteran sergeant. This is what I'm supposed to do. Let's do this.
I just want people with steel drums that look like they're poor people on the street, like Rent or something.
I don't know if you saw, but Cubicle 7 had their what's coming up thing on Twitter the other day.
I did not.
So the starter set for Imperium Maledictum comes out this month, apparently. This month, June. It comes out in June.
The starter set?
Yeah, which is sort of like they do this with each of them. It's just like has like a GM screen and some extra, like just like a small booklet of cool stuff you could use. Like in the past, I've had things like a planet generator or NPC, like quick NPC generator, and often has extra gear and that sort of stuff. It's just like an extra add-on thing. But the next 2 books they're bringing out will be a book of just equipment and vehicles, and one will be a book all about Inquisition campaign specifically. So they're the next 2 books for Imperium Maledictum.
I think Rassie's personal stuff to work on. Rassie also wants to is seeking permanent employment. And we know that our rogue trader is militant. He's doing that right now. So I think Rassie wants to continue to build relationships with, wants to keep working with Major Marine, but wants to start getting inroads with meeting more important people in the local Imperial fleet.
Okay. Well, you have at least 1 week, maybe more, depending on. I'm actually, James, you're out for the next 2 Sundays. Is that my recollection from yesterday?
Fine. I'm fine next Sunday. I'm fine on the 26th. I'm not fine on the 2nd.
Oh, yes, you're out on Pendragon, but not this.
Yeah,
that's what it is. So is everyone else good for next Sunday?
Good.
All right. You have a week if you have any more plots or if you want to expand or change a plot in any way. Do we want to have any post-episode discussion here? Because we do have a little time. I'm not saying you have to talk, but we have a little more time than normal.
How much XP did we get for the session?
It's a great question. 100.
I'd say if I was to evaluate this particular session, I would say that it meets expectations. It was a session. It happened. We didn't get demonetized yet. I didn't make any Darth Plagueis the Wise references. So yeah, it meets expectations.
But we've also closed out essentially our primary tasks.
Yeah.
That we set out to.
Yeah. I mean, we're 11 episodes in. That's the good time to wrap up the first story arc. Yeah. And by episode 12 or 13 sounds right.
So extra.
I wonder what'll happen from there.
So how much XP does meets expectations translate to?
5.
We're going to say 50 XP for today's session.
Making a lot of social rolls.
Yeah.
I'm glad that Fellowship did not end up as my lowest score.
Shit did on mine. Jesus.
Yeah.
24 is what was my lowest score, and that's my Fellowship before I put 2 advances into it to make it 26.
Oh, see, my intelligence is 24, and I have not touched it. Rassie definitely is a firm believer that a small mind is a tiny mind.
Wow, what a callback!
AP, can we do some like just do it on Discord, some equipment rolls as well for availability?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. I'll do it on Discord afterwards. It's fine.
There's a couple.
I've got like 6,000 soul.
I mean, I haven't shut the Foundry down yet. You can do it in there. You can do it on Discord. It doesn't matter.
What do I need for rare?
Is it rare is 25%. Yeah.
Can I make 2 rolls?
You can make 1 roll.
All right. Well, I'll go for my Camellia Lion Cloak first then.
So, sorry, I believe you can make 1 roll for each piece of equipment. You can't make it twice.
Oh, okay. Well, I got the cloak.
You succeeded.
I got the cloak. Now for the unguents.
They're so sacred.
They are.
Do I need to spend money buying an appropriately fancy, like...
You do if you want to continue to parade around as the Imperial Commander.
Well, no. I was thinking for the...
Listen, you are missing several things, all right? First off, suitable arraignment. Number 2, a loud hailer that announces you wherever you go. Number 3, a retinue. And number 4, you need a fall guy. Now, if you don't know what this is, watch any sports player who has caused a problem in the last 20 years but hasn't gone to jail for it. Find the guy in his retinue around him who goes to jail for his problems. Inflated balls, deflated balls, assaults, it's all that guy's problem. You need someone on your team whose sole job is to make mistakes for you and then be punished for it.
Oops.
I think the reason that Rassie hasn't expanded on this too much yet is because he was under the impression that temporary was very short term.
And yet it's been a month and you still seat the seat.
Yeah. Which concerns
I would point
Rassie.
out that messages work very slowly. Even telepathic messages can take days or even weeks to arrive when you're not using a Primaris librarian and blood magic ritual sacrificing psychers to establish live communication.
I mean, I guess I'm trying to figure out if Rassie has a reasonable expectation that this will last long enough that he needs to do those things.
I have no answer for you. The question is, does Rassie become intoxicated by the power of the office? He walks into a meeting with the Commodore and walks out being addressed as Imperial Commander. You know, it was really, I'm meeting with you as a formality. I don't think you can solve the problem, to what can I do for you, sir? I think that power can be corrupting.
Yeah.
Is Rassie that pure of heart? Which it would be fine if he was. He could be a simple man. A sergeant who doesn't dream of becoming an officer one day. Even a warrant officer is too high a rank for him. One day he might retire as a Master Chief Petty Officer if for some reason he transferred to the Navy.
So what would be, because I know Rassie's been looking into this and we definitely did a month. He'd be looking into like he doesn't want to get anything more than is required for him to perform the duty.
There is literally not a book called How to Be Imperial Governor.
So he really can just do whatever.
It requires generations of training and an entire team of staff teaching you from birth how to be an Imperial Governor. You could get those people to start training you, you know what I mean? But it's going to start with, do you speak High Gothic? Because all problems begin at that branch.
He does.
Okay, well then that's good. That's a good first step.
You know what? I think that's probably the first step Rassie will do.
Okay,
because Rassie does not want to abuse this power, and he doesn't want to execute it badly. So he needs to learn, and he needs to learn from people who actually know.
You want to learn to seat the office, which is good because we know James is going to force you to sit in a meeting as the Imperial Commander.
Yeah.
Perfect. This is the greatest plot point I've ever introduced in any show ever. Is randomly making one of the players immensely powerful and not want it.
Yeah.
I've removed money from my sheet, AP. I'll send you a list of what to add to my sheet when you have a chance.
Okay.
I just dragged my community line cloak over. You should be able to.
From the compendium?
Yeah.
When I go to the compendium, I see nothing in it.
You have to.
Unless I go to core rulebook. Okay, maybe
click on the core rulebook and then it'll open up other stuff.
Right.
Core rulebook is a folder. So is there like a cost or something to request these tutors?
Yes.
There's a chapter for services that you might be able to find that information.
What is this cost? How do I pay this?
Professional services chapter.
Yeah, it's under.
We'll talk more about this, of course.
It would be under page 155 and onward is where the more less tangible, I guess is the way to phrase it, items are, like transportation, accommodations, and lodgings. It doesn't specify like professional teachings or whatever, but
I think we can use the medical care as a good standard there. Right?
Yeah.
Like a learned tutor costing $600 a month is a pretty good pricing. Like an excellent one with full gear that's good for a noble, $1,200 a month. Yeah, that sounds right.
That makes sense.
They get paid more than you do. That makes sense.
Oof. How long can I stretch my money out?
I love that you're an Imperial Commander and you live in a single person hab room.
You could probably get accommodations based on that title alone.
I mean, so part of the problem here is that this place it's not large enough to have an Imperial Governor. That's one problem. Like, this place tithes at the lowest possible level and has no Imperial Commander as a result. It literally has whatever the tithe is for like 0.
It's a few tons of ore.
Well, I mean, it doesn't tithe ore, right? Like,
Yeah.
what it ties is artifacts from the Space Hulk. The entire economy here is to support expeditions into the Space Hulk.
So its tithes are
information,
spent casings, and artifacts.
Yeah, artifacts. I mean, I don't know that you tithe spent casings unless you were tithing them to the
back to the
Adeptus
Admech
Mechanicus, and they were like, we could really recycle this brass.
So we get paid right now $300 a month.
300?
No, that's per day.
Oh,
I thought we got like
yes,
200 a day.
your salary is per day, but I paid you ahead of time. I paid you your 3,000 solars a month.
Okay, so I could afford 1,200 a month for this
for the next month or two.
But by the fact that you don't need to pay for a room or food, you can in fact afford a tutor to teach you to be the Imperial commander.
Okay. Yeah. That sounds very pragmatic and necessary for Rassie.
Remember back in the day, guys, where utilities were included with rent? You remember that? Am I too old?
My water is included
wild.
in my rent, except if I go over a certain usage amount or based on the number of people in my apartment, something like that. But yeah, the only utilities I pay for right now is electricity.
Okay.
But there have been times where I've paid for water, electricity, and trash on top of my rent. That's usually, like out here at least, I guess it depends on which apartment complex you're in too, but out here that's usually if you own or rent a house that you have to pay for those other things.
Interesting. Well, any closing thoughts here?
I got to do some thinking about what I want to do with Velamris that doesn't involve him leaving the show, as it were. And then because I've had a handful of different ideas: Inquisition, assassination, joining the rogue tradership,
getting assassinated by the first.
Yeah, any one of those interfering with his plans to do any of the others.
I have to tell you about the Inquisition. Let's begin. I don't know if anyone's going to get that reference. So
I don't.
It's a musical number
should.
from the History of the World Part 1.
Yeah. What a show.
Inquisition. Look out, Sid. We're on a mission to convert the Jews. Jew. We're going to help them see the light. We're going to teach them wrong from right. See, listen, if you haven't seen the History of the World Part 1, some of the humor is very dated, but it is fucking hilarious.
It's Mel Brooks humor. What do you expect?
Yeah.
But
it's good to be the king.
It's good to be the king. Count the money. Don't get saucy with me, Bernays. My God, there's so many jokes in it that require complicated thinking. And then you get to the final musical number, which is Jews in Space.
Yeah.
Jesus.
It's a great movie.
Oh my God.
Oh, AP, I put Inquisitor Profundus or the Inquisition influence in there, but I can't change the value from 0.
Okay, that's all right. We know that it's a -1.
So
yeah, I don't know if you can or not.
when I was doing my thing for my faction and I tried to increase influence, it wouldn't. So I just added a second entry, and I just in the text box I put consolidation since this worked weird.
I think the problem is, based on what you rolled there, it shouldn't be a -1 with a single person. It should be -1 with the faction.
Yeah, you have -1 with the entire Inquisition.
Yeah, so you don't put you just put the faction in it. Put it at -1.
I put
it's
his
not
name in
just
there.
that guy. It's
No.
Inquisition.
I just put his name in there more as a reference to me, but like that, and I tried to put it in to see if it would allow me to change the value, but I can't change the value.
I mean, this motherfucker literally uncovered an inquisitorial watch fortress that has stood unbroken for 60 years, which has been spying on the population longer than many of the people currently on it have been alive. This dude just walked through the front door and was like, I'd like to speak to your manager.
I mean, in our defense, we didn't know it was Inquisition either.
No. What got me was we walked up to the desk, and they were asking questions, and you dropped the incredibly not subtle Inquisition reference in conversation.
Eagle 2.
Yeah, I said if one
Yeah,
wanted to inquisite
Inquisitive,
about
yeah.
something.
Okay, so
You
what you
walked
do,
in and unzipped. It was ridiculous.
Omar, click on the Inquisition so it comes up, and then click on the plus, and then in the plus you can change the number to -1, and that will then apply to the overall.
Yes, the ancient math trick of adding a -1 rather than subtracting a +1.
Oh wow! I just made me roll a -1 or something. What?
Oh, that's a lore test.
That's.
Oh yeah, wait. Why did you roll a lore test?
I don't know. That's really confusing me. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I already know the Inquisition hates Velamris. That's all I need to know.
Well,
So
friends,
Velamris joining the Inquisition may not be a great idea right now.
I have to say, for all those at home, if you want a rogue trade, if you want to factor like all these folks here and influence trade lanes with spaceships and businesses, what better way to do it than to pick up X4 on Steam sale right now with all DLCs also on sale. I've been enjoying it a lot. Tuesday night, we're going to have what might be it's definitely going to be the last educational X4 stream where I talk about mega factories and trade lanes, fully rounding out all the education while I do some of the more basic quests. But yeah, I might continue to stream X4 because I like it a lot, even though for this series I started an entirely new save. It's different enough that I'm enjoying it, and also things explode randomly from time to time.
Hey, what was Velamris' rating from his original manager before he came here again?
Oh, 0.124?
Yeah, 0.124.
That's right, thank you.
Oh, Jesus. So he's going to make his rating
This is James
0.123.
writing his evaluation for Velamris right now.
This is exactly what that was.
Right, this is something else. This is something else.
It's James's rating for his own HR department right now.
No. I am writing the lyrics of "I'm not just a paper pusher."
Oh my God!
Yes.
Are you? But the question is, are you writing it, or is the Adeptus Mechanicus writing it?
No, I'm writing it
what
right now. Yeah,
So
You
all
think
of
you
these,
can rate me
like-
at 0.124? I'm going to show you. I'll walk out that door. I'm not just a paper pusher.
So these
I'm pretty good with a
like accommodation and lodging costs, these are also monthly.
They are not charged to you specifically because you have a rogue trader as a patron. Your accommodation is paid for by him. If you had another patron, it would be a different story.
Well, okay.
Oh, if you wanted to live higher, yes, I understand. Yes, they are monthly.
Okay.
If you
So I
wanted
need
to
to bow,
live
guys.
beyond your means.
I gotta get going. Sorry.
All right, friends, we're going to head out for the night. Have a good day, time zone, evening.